Truth, lies, shenanigans.
So,
Johnny, you want
guys,
to talk about this train wreck in Ohio, right?
yes. So this is something out of a horror movie. Hold on, let me get my notes up. Sorry. This is something out of a horror movie. A train carrying hazardous materials heading from Pennsylvania to Illinois derailed on the night of February 3rd. Now this caused a major fire and possible alarm over a possible imminent explosion. So the situation obviously has local people very, very worried. Up to 2,000 of those residents living there were immediately evacuated as chemicals being carried by the train run by the Norfolk Southern Corporation were released into the air to prevent an explosion. So actually, the residents did return back to their homes last week, but residents have reported concerns over lingering effects from the chemicals in the air, the water, and the soil. So there's also been reports of about 3,500 fish in the days following that derailment that had died, and also farm animals have been reported having symptoms such as um, coughing. There's been symptoms of coughing. I'm sorry, of coughing, liquid diarrhea, and other headaches and other symptoms such as that. So my question to you guys is, what the heck? What is going on, and how should these residents be helped?
Mm. Rob?
Well, until we know the full extent of the damage, it's hard to really know how to treat this. But at the very least, if people are still experiencing these side effects, then there's clearly something not quite right with the ecosystem. So they shouldn't be in their primary residences. They shouldn't be in the community at this time. The rail companies, the chemical producers, the feds have billions in their coffers, so they can relocate these people to a safer spot for the time being. And if
Yeah.
there isn't going to be a safer spot for years to come, then the ethical thing would be to offer buyout packages to assist people in relocating from an environment that has become toxic. It it's a shame that something like this happened. And I know that when we had spoken about it as we were getting ready, I had noted that during Trump's presidency that they had repealed some safety regulations
Mm-hmm.
that had been put in place during Obama's administration. But um, these safety measures would not have actually helped in this situation
Okay.
because the load was not categorized as a high hazard cargo train. This was a mechanical failure from one of the train axles. And unfortunately, as a result, 38 cars ended up spilling with what we would consider, toxic cargo.
Toxic.
But yeah, but it's not considered high hazard. So these safety regulations wouldn't have been in place for this either. But at the very least, move the people if this is going to be poisonous to them.
Yeah, why would they say
Relocate the
to come
people.
back? Why would they say that it was safe to come back? That
I
Oh,
mean,
because
that's
nobody wants litigation.
right.
No,
oh,
if
okay.
because if they say that it's not safe, then they are admitting culpability. Then they
Okay.
are
And they have to
incurring
pay a lot of
liability.
money, billions of dollars. It's going to cost
Yeah.
them.
I mean,
Um,
ethically.
yeah. Jacqueline Robinson mirrored what you were saying. Unfortunately, the previous administration got rid of the Obama regulations, and this was a disaster waiting to happen. This also highlights the problem when transporting toxic chemicals across country by train. Mike Winter says their idiot Republican Governor DeWine has been reluctant to accept help from FEMA because he didn't want to work with Biden.
Oh, come
Um,
on.
So dumb.
I'd find a way to move. I just,
I would sue them.
I mean,
I know a few of them are being, there is some class action lawsuits that some of the residents have
of course,
against, but I would make this a bigger deal than it is.
I would just abandon my home. I'd abandon the place.
Yeah.
I would leave. I mean, life is so much more valuable than all the goods in the house and the place I live and all that stuff. I mean, if I know it's toxic, I'd be out of there. There's no way I'd
Yeah.
subject my family to it. Yeah,
What if you
no.
couldn't leave for some of those people.
I mean,
Yeah, like
you,
you're talking like that's a position of privilege that you're saying. Like the
Right.
major employers in Palestine, or the major
I'm
employer in
impressed
Palestine
that
is
I'm
Walmart.
impressed
So
that
Walmart
Robbie, you feel
distribution
I'm
center.
privileged.
Right.
I have a,
But to say that you're just going to
Just
relocate,
leave.
you're going to give up everything and relocate.
Yeah,
Pick up.
you're right. You're right.
There's a lot of people who could not fathom that. That there are a lot of people for whom that's not even a viable choice
And that's true.
unless they're receiving some type of compensation for this
Right.
disaster.
Right. Which I'm sure they will be. I hope.
Yeah,
Hopefully
because otherwise
enough
you'd be
to,
homeless and stuff like
Yeah.
that, and you
And then
don't want to be
also
homeless. Yeah.
like
because you're giving up your livelihood, you're giving up your family's security. This is a huge overhaul. So, it's fine and dandy to even receive a payment from the companies, but there should
right.
also be some kind of class action payment, like some kind of payout for, okay, so you're a family of four. This is what you get to help you start your new life in Palm
Different.
Springs,
Yeah. Different
wherever.
state, city. Mm-hmm.
What are you
Yeah,
doing,
because you're
Gianni?
giving up your job. You got to find a new job. You got to find a new home. You got to build a new life. That's
So you're in this
daunting.
situation. The fish are dying all around you and all this stuff. What are you doing, Gianni?
I feel like this would one, I would fight to get paid. But two, I would try to get to the bottom of it because I feel like, and I've watched other documentaries on how this was like an accident. I put quotation marks, because a lot of people have said that this happened in the past with the whole chemical spill and then the whole toxic town situation, and that it's ironic that it's happening to around an area that produces a lot of our like groceries, or like American, a lot of certain part of the country's groceries and food because of the farmland and stuff. So it's just interesting. I would try to get to the bottom of that as also getting paid.
Aaron
But
Brockovich the shit out of this.
Aaron Brockovich. Yeah, the problem though is that during the Aaron Brockovich period, people will be dying
yeah.
or ending up with cancer during this process. I mean,
Yep.
I mean,
It's,
I mean, okay, so my solution from privilege, because Mike Winter says, Rob, you spoke truth about privilege. This is why we need to teach empathy in schools.
oh,
And Robin
yeah.
Johnson says, just leaving is easier said than done. Most of these folks have likely never lived anywhere else. So I get that.
Right. Right.
But with that being said, there has to be, I mean, I'm not going to, the house is on fire. I'm not going to stay in the house because, that's where my house is. You make a decision that may be difficult to save yourself and your family's lives. So,
Right.
Yeah.
So it's a no-brainer.
yeah. So,
Right.
all right. Last topic.
Is that truth, lies, or
Oh,
shenanigans?
that was some wholehearted, unfortunate truth.
To me, that's
Oh, and it's some shenanigans because I feel like
Shenanigans going on.
there's shenanigans going on.
Yeah.
But it is a sad truth.
weird-ish.
Yeah.
It is sad truth.
Jack and Robinson, the company officials left the town hall meeting early because they didn't want to face the wrath of citizens who demanded answers. Cowardice on so many levels.